Imagine the glittering ballroom of the city's most opulent hotel, where crystal chandeliers cast 1,000 rainbows across silk-draped tables and champagne flows like water. But in the shadows, a young woman kneels on the marble floor, her hands trembling as she stares at a spilled glass of red wine staining the pristine white carpet. "Clean it with your tongue," sneers the bride, her diamond-encrusted gown shimmering under the lights, her voice dripping with venom. The guests gasp, some laugh nervously, but no one intervenes. And that's when he sees her, the billionaire tycoon lurking in the corner, his sharp eyes narrowing. What happens next will shatter hearts, ignite fury, and restore faith in humanity. Stick around till the end for a twist that will leave you breathless, and if this story moves you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of triumph over adversity. Your support keeps these stories coming. Ella Thompson had always been the invisible one. At 22, she worked 3 jobs to keep her family afloat, waitressing at a dingy diner by day, cleaning offices at night, and picking up odd gigs like this one, serving at high-society weddings where the tips could mean the difference between paying rent or facing eviction. Her mother, frail from years of battling cancer, depended on her, and her little brother, Tommy, dreamed of college but settled for community classes. Ella's life was a relentless grind, her dreams buried under piles of bills and exhaustion. But she held on to a quiet hope, whispering to herself in the mirror each morning, "One day, it'll change." The wedding was for Victoria Harrington, the spoiled heiress to a real estate empire, marrying into even more old money. Ella had been hired last minute through a temp agency, promised a fat paycheck for enduring the chaos. The venue was a palace of excess. Floral arches towering like monuments, ice sculptures melting into pools of extravagance, and a guest list that read like a who's who of billionaires and celebrities. Ella moved like a ghost among them, balancing trays of hors d'oeuvres, her uniform starched but threadbare, her shoes pinching her feet after hours on end. It started innocently enough. Victoria, radiant in her custom Vera Wang gown, was parading around the reception, her bridesmaids fawning over her like courtiers. Ella was refilling wine glasses when a tipsy guest bumped her elbow. The glass tumbled, crimson liquid splashing across the carpet and onto Victoria's hem. Time froze. Victoria's face twisted from bridal bliss to rage. "You clumsy idiot," she shrieked, drawing every eye in the room. Ella dropped to her knees, apologizing profusely, grabbing napkins to blot the stain. But Victoria wasn't satisfied. "Napkins? No, that's not good enough. Clean it with your tongue," she ordered, her voice echoing like a whip crack. Laughter rippled through the crowd, cruel, mocking. Ella's cheeks burned, tears stinging her eyes. She hesitated, humiliation knotting her stomach. Was this real? In front of all these people? From across the room, Alexander Voss watched. At 35, he was a self-made billionaire, founder of Voss Tech, a company revolutionizing renewable energy. He'd built his empire from nothing, a foster kid who'd coded his way out of poverty. Weddings weren't his scene, he was here as a favor to a business associate. But something about this tableau gripped him. The girl's wide eyes, the tremble in her hands, it mirrored his own past humiliations, the times he'd been belittled in boardrooms or dismissed as that street kid. He clenched his jaw, his usual stoic facade cracking. No one should endure that. Ella felt the world closing in. The guests' stares were daggers. One bridesmaid snickered, "Do it, or you're fired." Victoria crossed her arms, tapping her foot. Ella's mind raced to her mother in the hospital bed, to Tommy's tuition. She leaned forward, her lips inches from the floor, when a deep voice cut through the tension. "Enough." Alexander strode forward, his tailored suit cutting a path through the crowd. He knelt beside Ella, ignoring the gasps, and handed her his handkerchief. "Stand up," he said softly. She looked up, meeting eyes that held no judgment, only quiet strength. Victoria whirled on him. "Who do you think you are? This is my wedding." "I'm Alexander Voss," he replied coolly, rising to his full height. And this ends now. Murmurs spread. Voss? The billionaire? Victoria faltered, but her entitlement flared. She's ruined my dress. She deserves, Alexander interrupted, what she deserves is respect. Something you clearly lack. He turned to the wedding planner, slipping a card from his pocket. Bill me for the cleaning. And ensure this young woman is paid double. Then, to Ella, come with me if you want. Stunned, she followed him out, the room buzzing behind them. Outside, in the cool night air, Ella's legs gave way. She slumped against a fountain, sobs breaking free. Alexander sat beside her, silent at first. Why did you do that? She whispered. He sighed, staring at the stars. Because I've been there. Humiliated, stepped on. It changes you, but it doesn't define you. He shared snippets of his story, orphaned young, shuffled through homes, working menial jobs while teaching himself to code. I built my company to prove them wrong. You remind me of that fire. Ella wiped her eyes. I'm just trying to survive. My mom's sick, my brother's counting on me. Alexander nodded. Let me help. Not charity, opportunity. The next day, Ella woke to a call from Voss Tech HR. A job offer, entry-level assistant in their admin department, with benefits including health insurance that could cover her mother's treatments. She accepted, wary but hopeful. Her first day was overwhelming. Sleek offices, innovative minds buzzing around. Alexander kept his distance, not wanting to favoritism rumors, but he mentored her subtly, assigning projects that stretched her skills. Challenges arose quickly. Co-workers whispered about her special entry, dubbing her the charity case. An ambitious manager named Derek sabotaged her reports, hoping to expose her inexperience. Ella struggled, pulling all-nighters, doubting herself. Maybe I don't belong here, she confided to her mother during a hospital visit. Her mom, weak but wise, squeezed her hand. You do, Ella. Fight for it. Inspired, Ella confronted Derek, presenting evidence of his tampering. Alexander, overhearing, promoted her to junior analyst and demoted him. Integrity matters, he told the team. As months passed, Ella blossomed. She analyzed data for green energy projects, her ideas sparking innovations. Tommy enrolled in a better school, funded by her salary. But emotions deepened when Alexander invited her to a gala, not as staff, but as his guest. Sparks flew amid dances and conversations. You're more than your past, he said. Yet, doubt crept in. Victoria, scorned, leaked stories to tabloids, billionaire steals wedding crasher. Paparazzi hounded Ella, dredging up her poverty. I'm not good enough for your world, she told Alexander, pulling away. The climax hit during a company crisis. A rival firm hacked their servers, threatening to expose trade secrets. Ella, using her diner-honed observation skills, noticed anomalies in the data. Working with Alexander through the night, they traced the breach. We did it, she exclaimed as dawn broke. In that moment, vulnerability surfaced. Alexander confessed, I was afraid to get close. My past made me build walls. Ella smiled. Mine too. But together, we can break them. Resolution came sweetly. Alexander proposed a partnership, not just business, but life. They married quietly, focusing on philanthropy. Scholarships for underprivileged youth, like Tommy, who became Voss Techs in turn. Ella's mother recovered, attending the wedding tearfully. Victoria? She faded into obscurity, her entitlement exposed. Years later, Ella stood on a stage, sharing her story at a TED-like event. Humiliation doesn't define you, it's fuel for your rise. The audience applauded, inspired. And as for that fateful night? It became legend, a reminder that kindness from strangers can change everything. If this tale of resilience touched your heart, smash that like button and subscribe for more uplifting stories. Your engagement means the world. Let's spread hope together. What do you think happens next in Ella and Alexander's adventure? Comment below.